here. This PRX team has never missed playoffs here in Pacific, and things could be all about to change today. It's very, very simple. Win and you are in, lose and you are out. This is a situation they have never found themselves in, but still very possible for them to make playoffs, but it all comes down to today's performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Patman is the newest addition to this roster, which hasn't changed for a very long time, but he's shown a lot of promise. This player, Patman, is familiar with a lot of the GE players back in the Philippines, back in Tier 2. So for them to be facing off against today, it will be very exciting for all three players. Poppy is one of those players. Kelly S is the other one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bittersweet feeling when you make it into Tier 1, you see some of the homies, and you're like, yes, we all made it, boys, but then you have to literally end your friend's career. It's over after this.
No. Yeah, they're not friends after today, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be some hearts broken. But GE undeniably going to be the underdogs here against PRX in this matchup. They have had some up and down performances as of late. They've only taken a win over DFM, who have kind of struggled so far. In fact, they beat DFM a lot easier than PRX beat DFM. DFM was in demon mode last week, so we'll see how this matchup is going to end up going. Darion is in once again. It's just the duelist role in GE that's cursed, Morgan.
It very well might be.
That's why you get 5 of them and then just figure it out from there.
That's the way.
A do or die match. So we were talking about this could be PRX's first time never qualifying to playoffs. But if Global gets in, it's the first time they're ever in.
Yeah, very much so. That would be an exciting moment for this organization and all the fans who have followed along so diligently on their journey. You know, it would be a real flip of the script today if GE managed to make it in and eliminate PRX from contention. As we say, the stakes can't be any higher than this.
It is super high right now. And speaking of duelists, the question, of course, is always, who is going to be the duelist on PRX? And they keep adding new duelists or former duelists back into the duelist roster. Then they put them on smokes. You never know what's going on with this team, especially when it comes to dive duel.
The same way.
Yeah, I think some of it's coming down to comfort as well, where you're seeing something even on Pearl, where he's previously playing Yoru, he feels more comfortable on Jet, so he's going to play Jet. We're going to get into the map veto, though. GE taking out Fracture. PRX, they've been banning Haven for quite a while, so they're going to continue to ban Haven. No surprises to see GE pick Split, and that is going to be their pick for the majority of these series when it doesn't get banned out against them. PRX will play defense, and then PRX going for Lotus. Their Lotus looked pretty good with something on the Yoru.
I liked it last week. I thought it was definitely one of the better maps that I've seen from them, so they're looking to carry that momentum. But there's a lot of footage out there on both of these teams now. GE, you know, they've shown their split plenty of times before, so I do think there's a lot that PRX will be able to look at to be able to counter this.
So looking at this split game, you can see PRX, they have banned it once. They have not played it since kickoff, which was that very tight game against T1, where T1 almost lost to a bunch of teams, including that third map decider against PRX on split. That was the 11-13. You did have Jet Rays that they played back then, and for GE, they have not changed their split comp too much at all, and they are once again going to be picking split here. So I'd imagine they're just going to keep rolling through with the same comp that's had some success for it throughout kickoff into stage 1 now.
Yeah.
Now, predictions. It has been a while. It's been a couple weeks since we've seen a full flush PRX.
Oh.
But do you think this is overwhelmingly in the favor of PRX? Real quick, just
no,
yes or no?
I wouldn't say it's overwhelming. I think when it comes down to one game like this on the day, anything can happen, and both these teams have been pretty even. But I think all of us are just leaning on PRX because they've managed to take more maps throughout this stage 1.
All right. Well, we're going to find out who's going to be going off to playoffs. Is it going to be Global Esports or PRX?
What you waiting for? Got the bling, got the rings, yeah, we on the 2025 VCT Pacific, Stage 1. Rise Pacific. PRX.
Today marks the do or die weekend here in VCT Pacific, and who is going to be qualifying to playoffs. Now, ever since PRX added in the rookie, Patman, we are slowly seeing the resurgence of the old Titan of this team. However, is it enough at this point with everything on the line? If anything, Global Esports seems a little confident here. They said if there's any day they can take PRX down, it would be today. This is their window, while PRX is still struggling to figure things out.
Yeah, PRX are the fallen giant trying to get back up on their feet, and they took that first step last week, and they can continue that momentum, make playoffs today, but they have to upset this Global Esports team.
That's right. Now, we did see a lot of promise from Global Esports since the beginning of this year. We talk about this every single week, that they have a lot of good pieces on the board here, but things keep shuffling around as well. Darren coming back into the roster, and it looks like they're also still figuring out their comps.
Yeah, for sure. I think at the end of the day, this is a winnable series for Global, but they need to hit their peak as individuals. We need to see why a lot of these players were picked up for this Global Esports roster today, because in terms of firepower, some of these PRX players are starting to wake up a little bit more. They're given some of their comfort roles, and they're definitely going to be trying to run it down today.
Yeah, when you're playing against PRX, you cannot let them control you. You can't let them run the tempo. That's what GE need to do today, and they need to be able to hold their ground from a firepower perspective. That's been one thing that's really missing for this Global team, so if they're able to shoot back consistently today, they definitely have a chance, but I don't want to see them start slow, and I don't want to see them get run over by PRX's fast speed.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something that PRX often uses to their advantage, and Global Esports, they should be familiar with this concept by now. Now, we talking about this a little bit earlier. The teams are very familiar with each other. The three Filipino players, Patman, and the two on Global Esports with Kelly S. and Poppy, and also Crystal and Something have a bit of history too, our two Russian players. So I think they're going to be having a lot of fun today, whatever the result is.
Yeah, a lot of overlap in Origins, even for like Jemkin and a lot of these East Russian players kicking around the Japanese scene and the Tier 2, and then coming into Pacific. So a lot of very big firepower players from that region of the world, and a lot of familiarity from the Tier 2 little different sub-regions that you do have. For this game, though, I think for GE, I mean, the fact of the matter is they're going to have to start attacking side of split. They've chosen that. So while they do need to start strong in terms of like actually picking up rounds, I think it is going to be a slow start to this game. I think their attacking side of split has been very slow, has been a very crawling pace thus far.
Yeah, when we look at the difference between the plan times for these, Global Esports, it normally takes them about 1:06, PRX 43 seconds.
That's huge.
And you can almost see this difference reflected in the composition styles.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll take a little bit of a look at what GE are playing. Darion is going to be on the Raze. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept, honestly, Yudatan on the Raze, because that's what they played in kickoff with this exact same team, exact same comps, but they're going to keep the roles consistent and play the comp they're familiar with. On attack, they usually are doing a lot of slower kind of contact A's in the mid to late round, so I want to see PRX control a ramp and stop them from doing that.
Yeah, PRX's style, clearly the polar opposite. We're seeing the double duelist with Jing back on the Raze, Forsaken taking that Omen. So their style is, of course, much faster. We're going to see them fighting for that space on the defense, trying to restrict GE's control.
We got to see a little bit on the camera, PRX warming up a little bit physically. They're kind of changing up their tempo a little bit, fixing their mental game. This is something that's had question marks over the last year and a half. Like, this is something that they needed to work on to keep the stress low as they go into this do or die match. And like Coach Elevated from Global Esports says, the question in winning is who wants the playoff spot more? We're going to send it over to our casters, Quack and Komodo.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Victoria Big Time Bilski. Yeah. Do you want a playoff spot, Dion?
Me playing on the stage? I don't think my vision really permits me that one. I'm happy. I'm comfortable here.
We're comfortable here for sure. But I mean, just taking a look at the agent selection so far, do you see anything interesting?
I mean, it makes sense for Global for my side of things, having Darion just substitute in towards where Patrick Who was. That one is a little bit, expected here. But on the flip side for PRX, changing it up, used to seeing them float with the Sky on Forsaken, but that seems to go away right now. He's going to be back on towards the Omen, which we did see some good performance from him picking it up for the first time against DFM over on Lotus. So we've got that as the second map of this series as well. Maybe it's just a day of smokes for him.
Possibly. I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing as well, just given the fact that PRX, actually both teams, honestly, in this entire map veto, they haven't really played it since kickoff. Now surprising, possibly PRX with the map pick itself.
Yeah.
PRX coming up with this composition where we now see something on the Yoru a lot more often.
And this is do or die time for playoffs, everybody. You have to remember that going in towards this one. Both teams currently at the 1 to 3 mark, with GE opening up stage 1 against DFM, copping the dub there 2-0, but mapless since then. And for PRX, well, they've always got a map in every single one of their series, finally besting DFM as well in that heated third map that we saw last week.
Which is where we come down to this final series in the final week of group stage. Can PRX make it through to playoffs? It all kicks off right here.
And as we saw and heard, Global Esports on the attacking side right now, but look at just the numbers for PRX around mid. They have a great idea on how they want to play this pistol round to contain this.
Stars around as well, though. So they will keep themselves backwards in towards Crystal now, who then pushes in towards Vents.
Gets awkward though, doesn't it? You hear the shots, more members up at the B tower. You need to see something big come out from Forsaken.
A bit of a survival smoke towards the top of ramp for now. They haven't quite checked him out so far. Off towards the wayside on the edges of the smoke, though, and he does find the double. Trades out from Crystal, and then for Divine to flush back in. They're trying to find some pot shots, prevent GE from getting that spike down, and they will pick up the pistol right off the bat.
Man, I thought that round was actually going to go towards Global. The fact that Crystal's just kind of stampeding up through the guts of mid, supported with the rest of the team. We've seen Crystal, kind of in majority of the games that Global have played, be topping on the ratings for them. On the flip side, it was Jing, who's somewhat been topping completely, besides one for Forsaken to come on through. But yeah, a pistol round that you look at the top 2 converting openers, right? 5 versus 3 that they're able to get on back from that one. Makes things a little bit awkward when you feel that Crystal's just done the lion's share of the damage, and then it's Divide to just get some good taps out as well at the end there. A force up from Global is interesting, given by the fact that they didn't actually get the plant down here.
Still going to try to bulldoze their way through, perhaps.
Yeah.
Got the stars all placed out.
Well, you know that this is such an important game for Global that they would have done probably the most prep that they ever would have coming in towards this week, One game and you can get into playoffs.
Right, with
Good
the
start.
specific map pick as well. Right now, just being able to find some shots against a couple of the PRX players, something to trade with Guardian. Forsaken with his own Guardian as well. He does feel a lot of contact, though, so the paranoia sent out. Maybe a bit of support from Pac-Man around the edges of this smoke as well, but close range, it's not going to find its targets. Now down to just Jing. He does have the Bulldog, but you also see rotations now coming up for Global.
It just needs to be some good shots to come out from Jing at the moment. So far, the force up from Global working a treat, but low HP for both of these members. They have to play this one somewhat together or play for time. Star already on the spike, a Gravnet available too.
Possibly to even play for range. Jing, though, looking to close in the distance for now, but he dives right up on top. It's an easy shot for Kelly S to bring one round back up on the board.
Yeah, you're not going to see too much consistency come out from a flying Bulldog there, unfortunately, but it would have been funny if Jing was able to find that one. You can criticize the buy up, the force up, all you want from Global, but they make those stingers sing, that is for sure. At long distance range, something not able to get it done with the Guardian nor Forsaken, really. And then it's again just through the smokes where you think that PRX have a player in the right position, but Sheriff versus Stinger not going to work out there, unfortunately. This is where you've got to have some good decision making from PRX on this defensive side to have an answer back, if not this round, the round after.
Perhaps a little bit more consistency as well. They're going to attempt at peeking out, though. Tripwires across for now.
This is risky for Pac-Man because, I mean, he's got the gun and he's by himself as a fade. It's not generally a situation that you would look to see someone pretty self-sufficient in. We see once upon a time Forsaken going for a lot of those plays with the bird when playing on the sky, but this is a bit of a different look for PRX now, T1-esque, right, with the comp that they are playing.
Also just trying to refill the space that their teammate has just fallen, so Shrouded steps over the trip.
Yeah, but is it going to do too much, honestly, right? You just need to see something big come out from Devi if they go up through towards Mail, but if not, it's just going to be something. One blind side. It's got the fake out clone as well available, which is actually going to get sent pretty early here.
Yeah, not much to really stall, but I think one big point would be the dark cover that Forsaken just sent out. I do believe Yudotan just noted it.
And it's the flank, and now they're all contained. Look at that. That's numbers for Forsaken.
Paranoia back in as well. He still has to contend with all 4 of them, though. He's the only one holding the angle. Actually,
they're rotating. This is risky.
To go through to Mail. The Prowler as well, but Devi looks to get ahead of it. Does find the first shot. Paint shells out from Jing now.
A spike.
And that's a second kill as well. Forsaken now coming back in from bottom mid. Spots up Poppy. And even though Poppy can still find some shots, it's 10 seconds left. And yeah, you're right, Komodo. The spike on the ground.
Yeah, that's some really ill decision-making to come through from Global. But you flip it on its head, and that's some great decision-making from PRX. They have a bit of an overstep in the beginning from Patman. But apart from that, everything is just pretty clinical, right? You've got time being bought from something on the side itself with the clone. You've got the poison cloud being popped, you've got the dark cover that comes, and it's all just buying time for Forsaken to get this flank happening. As soon as he gets that first kill and the Paranoia goes out, GE are really locked and contained in Garage. They don't know how many members are exactly on that B site ready, and with sub 30 seconds, I mean, it gets very difficult to try and get into the site like that. Great round to come out from PRX to now bring some stability back to this defensive side.
Still got those guns as well. Well, GE still able to buy up somewhat. Look to push in towards B this time.
Just down the timing. Again, an emphasis on mid from a bit of this util, but an off angle from Forsaken.
One kill. He tries to TP away, but punished by Darien.
Gotta remember, he is relatively new to this Omen role too. Has to configure a lot of the timings almost mid-map.
The angle's still somewhat exposed. That said, though, Jing will happily take a kill against Yudotan down middle, but it's also the spike and the site, you know, someone granted to Global Esports.
Jing might look to just satchel in with the judge.
Oh, and he will do just that alongside the Prowler. The range not quite there, so Crystal still able to trade, but then for Patman to trade right back.
Yeah, that judge, you think you might not be able to deliver on too much there, unfortunately, but when you've got your team all surrounding the site and you can kind of just get sent in and your team can pick up the scraps if you do need. It's a close quarters gun, but it's got some range towards it, and the damage was delivered there, so it's another round, this time in succession for PRX. Gotta say, Darion, if you're able to get activated really early on this attacking side, it has to bring some confidence to Global, considering that him and Patrick Hu have kind of, you know, almost been non-existent in its entirety of this stage, right? They're kind of sitting at the lowest in overall duelist stats at the moment, so if you're wanting to see somebody step up a little bit for Global, in my mind, Darion stepping up is going to be an absolute net bonus for them because Crystal's already been really good, Yudotan's already been pretty good, Kalias has as well, right? So if you've got another piece that is stepping up, can be pretty potent for Global.
It's always been that 3 core, and also the best possible stage for Darren to do it right now. You know, we've been talking about Crystal and something having some familiarity. Darren being coming from the Singaporean scene, you know, having that experience from Bleed as well. He's quite familiar with some of these PRX players too, so that should give him some confidence. That's it. We're slowing things down.
Yeah, but the problem is when you're not running this Sentinel as PRX, you have to just be very proficient around your info gathering around the map, and that doesn't work out for Petman. Caught in the open, the site is now Global's.
Somewhat unfortunate. Forsaken now punished as well. You got the paint shells to continue pushing PRX off space, but Jing happy to go for this fight against Darien. A bit more confidence coming up from PRX.
He's got Showstopper but no satchels, so it will be a scare tactic, or you got to get close already.
Okay, Crystal is close, however. It does set the Nightfall as well, just to keep PRX away.
And you got this flank being watched by something. Is a little bit apparent that Pappy might be coming for it. Keep an eye on that one.
Still got to watch out for the possible timed peaks. Crystal still watching off towards elbow, but here comes Jing with a huge party. It does blow up in Crystal's face, but then for the Global Esports players to continue holding, that's when the lurk comes up. You got a player up over by Rams as well, and something has to watch for it. Jing still sticking onto the spike, though. It's a grab net. It's Annihilation. It gets Jing off halfway, and that will be the round picked up by Global.
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna put my hat in the ring here. I don't know if that gravity well was bait to just keep them in the spike itself, even on the defuse, ready with the annihilation. Because you're usually using them to pull them off the defuse, right? That didn't work. He's still able to stick it there. And to be fair, Jing nearly gets the full defuse before that annihilation came out. There could have been an awkward result there for Global at the end of it. But I got to say, the beginning stages for them, mid is looking a little bit unattainable in positions. You pivot over towards the A site. Patman's caught out in the open, none the wiser, and you're getting into the site, you're setting yourselves up, you've got a flank. Like, these are some really good things to come through from Global there.
And you mentioned, you know, you needed to see Darren step up, and he did just that in that previous round. What happens about this round, though? PRX now noting that they need information, so you see them beginning to peek out into the garage a little bit more.
Yeah, but an adjustment at the moment as well from Global. Just slow and steady. You've got a little bit more eyes on Garage this time with Pappy just holding about. But an operator for something and Forsaken in tow. How confident are they that they want to remain around Garage? You've now got something on the line. And he's got the opener as well. No smokes on a map like Split. Quack. Can get awkward.
Awkward is one way to put it. And Jing will just, well, if you have social anxiety, now this is not the scenario that you want to be in. 3 players left. They still got to try, though. Darren does have a showstopper as well.
You got to cut some corners here as Global. You need to at least find a free gimme, you'd think, a pre-fire on towards something who's still holding the Garage line. If you're shouldering this one slowly, it's not going to work out, and Darion falls.
At least attempted at a swing, but yes, that will be something very much still controlling this sightline down B.
Yeah. And we did hear it earlier on from Mr. Big Time, right? How long does it take Global Esports to try and get into these sites, to try and get a plant? It takes over a minute 10, essentially, for this B site before they look to get in. But this time, well, they're not breaking down in towards the site. You hope they're not breaking down in the comms now, because you feel like they're starting to get a wriggle on this attacking side. It's not working out. These kills are almost inconsequential in terms of the rounds. But a couple of extra ulti orbs, I mean, you'll take that as Crystal to get closer to a Nightfall.
Yeah, 4 more. Still got to keep an eye on that.
And you'll play with the economy, most importantly for PRX, right? They've not built up a lot of their credits at the moment. They're going to have to do some quick maths and quick allocation on what weapons they still want to be purchasing up. I saw a tail end of an operator coming out into this next round. Sorry, an outlaw yeah. into this next round, because you've lost the operator now, of course.
Precisely, which does kind of, you know, mean that you're going to lose some control as well. You're not going to be able to push up into B again.
If Crystal's going first or Pappy's going first, I mean, the outlaw is going to finish them off quite quickly. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're just going to switch in towards a bit of a retake scenario here as PRX, because you've got the Dimensional Drift, you've got From the Shadows. What else you've got is another line, deep, being held by something. Other side of the map this time, supported by Patman, supported by Jing. Now you can fall off and kind of stave off Global from going into this B site, because they're all getting ready outside Garage. Sonic Sensor popped, in case any pushes do happen later on.
Which ain't too bad. Patman does have the Nightfall now also, because he picked up that Alt Orb, so just to watch even further now. Those smokes buying some time for PRX around the B site.
And the onus is kind of on Global Esports right now. Where do they want to try and transition to finish off this round? If it's going to be towards the Bravo site, well, there's 4 members there of PRX.
Well, G trying to be tactical with their approach, you know, trying to suss out as much of these positions as possible with the Prowlers.
Spotted out something, pushed up through main. They want to pivot in towards the A side. It wouldn't be the worst idea.
Oh, but the Judge and Jing as well, just to hold it down pat. Linear angles, and it's the paranoia that flushes Kelly S all the way to Garage. Petman holding down B as well. The Outlaw getting taken out by Yudotan, though, so possibly we got an Alpha plant.
Yeah, but the thing is, Forsaken, if he takes the one-on-one duel here, it could upset the whole round with Kelly S running a marathon towards the site. PRX beat them here to the site before the spike even gets here. They don't have to wait for a plant here. They could recognize by timing that Kelly S has to go for the plant, and it's just unachievable now. This is another round where Global are too slow.
That was, you know, really appropriate point being brought up by the desk, Big Time, and noted it immediately. And, you know, perhaps it was an attempt at being tactical, but just some moments hesitation, and they fell, you know, down around Mail.
There's no pressure. there is no pressure that PRX are feeling like in a situation like this. Through the dark cover, you've got 3 members watching the male location. Showstopper doesn't even get ripped out in that one. Yeah, you lose something with the Outlaw, but you did pick up the Operator with Divide there. So they're getting out of this as a complete net positive as PRX. You've got another round, you're building credits, you've got the Operator, you didn't invest any ultimates of yourself, and you remove the Showstopper of Therion.
If you're PRX, you see this as an absolute win. You've got all these ultimates online as well now. You can get cooking.
Absolutely. And we're cooking with gas. We've got good flames here. No flint and steel. Lucky shot, I'll say. A little bit there. Stinger on towards something's head, but he braves it.
Let's get down low, but also for Divine now to hide inside of this smoke. Poppy trying to get sneaky around the sides, and he will find the Sheriff shot.
Yeah, but look what GE have managed to do. They've got in towards the A site with a Cosmic Divide dropped.
And then for Forsaken to find that trade back onto Poppy. So Spike down, you got the Dimensional Drift now going in from something.
Get all the information that you possibly can. Recognize no one's on the side itself. Well, where are they going to be? Screens!
More,
The only option.
100% Forsaken to take the first kill. Kelly has to trade right back, though. Something now trying to disrupt the positioning coming out from Kelly. S with the blind side, holds the angle then with the op. Yudotan, though, also getting taken down. Kelly S now into the shorty. 1v1 around the corner. He's hopping, and something goes and peeks into it. A beautiful quad coming out from Kelly S in round number 8.
He's certainly just stand and delivered around that site there, hasn't he? Just all the shots coming on out where required. Even the Sonic sensor dropped in case Forsaken goes for another tap onto the spike. Because at that point in time, you technically don't know if they're holding it or not. But the Sonic sensor going down, it makes something get a little bit more awkward. A single shot out and, well, he's getting stunned up. And the HP was there in advantage for Kelly S. Great little round to come out from them on the thrifty mark as well. I mean, if this is the way the map is going to go, Quack, we're just going to get some pretty strange, you know, unorthodox rounds in terms of any sort of consistency.
Oh, we're also going to begin to take a look into the upside down now. Darren with the op takes down Jing up by A ramp.
Now you've got the pit catered for as well in case there's any further pushing up through mid with Kelly S putting the Sonic sensor there. And in this sort of situation with Global Esports getting the opening kill, they don't even necessarily need to worry about mid whatsoever. Give that over to PRX, keep Divide there, because that weakens the extremities of the map. That weakens any defending at the A side or any defending at the B side, especially if you figure out where any other members are currently situated.
Precisely that. They just saw Prowler down A ramp as well, also the smoke. So that gives them some idea. They're beginning to connect the dots, but they're still looking to get a pick off.
I believe I just heard, yeah, I did, a shot out from something with the Operator in Garage. So now Global also know where that op is currently playing.
Okay. Well, we do have Petman now beginning to rotate back over onto the B side. If something can find an opening pick here, this could be massive for PRX.
You just got to get through. The Flex got himself in Forsaken. Oh, at the A site.
What an angle to hold as well. He could potentially TP back to safety.
It's 30 seconds. He's got a paranoia. He can stall a little bit. He hears all the footsteps.
Yeah. Here comes that flash. Oh, not quite landing the burst and the trace, but recoil control will get him there.
And the Nightfall. It stops them.
Patman now to hold the off angle. GE just have to go. They're flooding into it, but into the blender they go, and Defy to burst them down with the Phantom. Crystal for the trade, but Defy still collecting onto the 3K.
Somebody needs to let Global Esports know that we had a team earlier in this tournament. Their name was RRQ. The clock needs to be, you know, watched on this attacking side of Split. You can't play disrespect against the time.
Yeah, we're just tapping on our wristwatches right here because this
it's time to go.
Definitely felt kind of like they're putting themselves in a bit of a cage. 3-6 currently is the score, and PRX taking the lead.
I mean, the Global more confident in their ecos, in their thrifties. They've done more damage so far with that sort of weaponry.
Yeah, I imagine maybe it's a little bit of that emotional pressure as well. Perhaps with the ecos, then they begin to feel like they can just let loose, but then they go straight into Devi, who's just spraying into the smokes. Forsaken now off from Vents. He does get traded by Crystal, though.
Still got to be a little bit careful. If you're going very close, the Stingers are just going to rob you of your life in this round yet again. Yes, Devi was good for one with the Poison Cloud Toxins and the Snake's Bite, but now it needs to stand with the Phantom, and he cannot. An opportunity now for Global with Clack. Time to spare.
You got a full minute to work off of. Certainly, the Global squad will begin to assert themselves across the map. They found themselves with rifles picked up. You've got Crystal onto, more utility to clear out positions.
And Patman's just thrown the horn over at the A side of the map. So who do you favor? Going into a known quantity of Patman on this fade with a bit of util used, or an unknown, unexpected position of something on this Yoro where you know the operator's in play?
Obviously, you're going to go for Patman. Oh, he's still able to hold the angle. A double kill found by Patman.
Okay.
Just Poppy versus something now. We've been talking up the Poppy clutches. We haven't seen them too much.
Yep, one smoke available to use his gravity well for time a little bit later on. Something getting rid of the operator, a Phantom in play, and now it comes down to where you think Poppy goes.
Not gonna lie, Komodo. I feel like I'm favoring something a little bit more this one. He's got flashes, he's got a clone, and fake footsteps. Meanwhile, Poppy just trying to hide around these smokes. He's inside of screens right now. It's a tight corner that he's holding. Something will go in for the tap here.
No, he won't. He's just trying to play around the corners. No smoke available for Poppy whatsoever, remember?
Trying to stick it halfway. Poppy playing the patient game. Will be able to find the headshot at the very end of it. Global up to 4.
Yeah, you've got something trying to clear every corner that he possibly can. But Poppy just repositioning quite nicely. Generally you would expect, or at least I would expect, an Astra player in a situation like that. When you go for a bit of an open plant, put a star on the spike. You may be playing from heaven, or you're wrapping around through a ramp and playing over at main. But Poppy just very chilled in that moment, goes in towards screens because you isolate how many angles something could potentially go. He's more than often than not going to have to clear around the whole site and then maybe expect you to come from heaven. Great little individual moment there from Poppy to keep Global in play. 4-6. They convert this one 5-6, or you're tying up at the half, or it's 5-7 at worst.
And it was a bit of a swing round as well. I mean, PRX now find themselves with lesser weaponry. Good guns on the other side for Global, and they could, yes, potentially tie this up.
Global Esports are just very slow to gain this A main control. I like the fact that they are here a little bit earlier, though, this time, right? Generally, they've given a lot of respect over towards PRX and what numbers they're putting up through ramp, who's holding over the main side, whether it's been Patman, whether it's been Forsaken.
Oh, but also this time with the weaker guns. Now, PRX not really holding A ramp up front. It's just divide, jump, peek, and he's already been spotted out. Global still kind of piecing things together.
I believe something might have just seen the shoulder of Darion too, but it doesn't matter. Not able to best that Outlaw.
A little bit more confidence with the peaks now. The second kill found in the round. Divine to try to regain that weapon to hold down the position, but he's not able to since the firing squad from Global has marched up.
Now you just need to see Global Esports not falter. Darion to have a great multi-fragging round on for the 4K. And who stands behind him but Forsaken with a classic.
Oh, it's a classic. So here's what he's going to do. He's going to spam crouch a bunch behind the boxes. He's going to hold the angle.
See, I think he's going to smoke him off and then try and just go up with the spike because there's a wall keeping them in screens that they now get through.
But he also hears the guns firing off nearby.
Oh, they know where he is.
Oh, it has to peek out.
Nice work from Crystal. That's going to be the 5th on the round on the scoreboard rather for Global Esports. And as I said just previously, right, they can make it a tight scoreline at 6-6 or worse now 5-7, where I got to say it, when they've got time to play with, they're looking better. When they don't have time, they're not looking that good. So play with the time, better adjustments from them so far. Just gathering some control a little bit earlier in through mains, right? We've seen them get into garage when they're pushing them back. We've seen them get up through A side of the map as well.
Especially when Darren's the one finding these picks. Those were anti-ecos though, and now we are positioned for an explosive final round in this first half. You've got ults aplenty for Global.
I mean, when you're considering getting into these sites, just Crystal with the Nightfall to be able to put any audio. The HP, you send in Darion at the same time. You got options to go still for these traps, the Gravnet and the
PRX be positioning for a retake then though. So Jing with the showstopper?
Definite situation where we've seen Global Esports favor mid. Just by this repositioning now at the minute mark, PRX need to find some solidified information, right? Pushing in through garage, seeing nothing's there, leaving Patman to spot the info of the util over at this A site. Gives him an idea that ramp is going to be a little bit void of information.
Calls Jing over, just check with the boombot. Patman does have the haunt refresh as well.
It's good macro ideas from PRX. Using this utility now to gather information.
You don't see too much until Yudotan goes in for the peak, but gets burst down by something. Into Garage now with the Nightfall.
And now they know where it's happening, right? It's the B site that this is ending up. We see the combo of utility. Showstopper missing its mark.
Oh, but still the kill collapsed on towards Divine. Annihilation just to push PRX a little bit further back, and then the Bear Rush coming in. You got the Showstopper from Jing though, and he blows up the site. Poppy getting blown up. Petman the trade. Kelly S trying to find some trades as well. They beginning to run out of time, but they still got the spike down. It came so close, Komodo. Got some flashes. Forsaken, healthy and full, and they're going in for the peaks. They found out where Crystal is, just down to the peaks and the kills. Now mechanical skill. Forsaken goes in out front. The C's from Crystal, but still Forsaken hunkers down.
I think Crystal at the end there may have just ran out of ammunition to bring the C's to try and find himself some timing, or maybe miscounted a couple of bullets left in the chamber. Either way that one goes, bringing out Util at that mark there. A little bit unfortunate to not win the 1 versus 1, and I got to say within that round there as well, Global Esports making sure that the trades were there to keep in the contest, right? How many times did we just see Kalias reposition himself around the side to try and get involved in a lot of those duels? When the blindside came out from something there as well. Unfortunate on the planter that peeks out, gets completely blinded, and loses their life for, again, more trades. So I gotta say, Global, we've seen a little bit more proactivity from them when the time isn't really clicking on down towards its 0-second mark. Are they going to be able to transition that now in towards this defensive side? Because when you look towards what they're running on the Cypher Lock, right, they're going to have a lot of stopping power. They're going to have a lot of utility that we need to see cleared out from the likes of Pac-Man, from the likes of Jing.
It is PRX once again, you know, finding themselves with a bit of a lead after the first half. So, you know, we kind of gather that you just don't want them to throw this lead away. It certainly can happen when your opponents are running this rather defensive composition.
Maybe a more iconic duo than PRX and dropping.
You had to say that. Oh man, it certainly is something that has been happening throughout the stage. We cannot deny it.
No. Not at all. And even then, when they're looking to get their first series win, I mean, the overtime we had on Pearl. It was
last week, 2v5.
It was a map.
Week before that,
it was a map.
Yeah, we've got some shenanigans happening. I must say though, this first half coming out from PRX, it has looked a little bit cleaner. They were certainly more aware of what Global Esports might look to deploy against them.
Yeah, Forsaken as well. Feeling a little bit more comfortable in the Omen just by positioning and timing on the dark covers as well, right? When he first brought it out, I saw some egregious smokes. The timing was very questionable. I could say the same for Jing a little bit as well when he first adopted it, but also learning is really good for PRX now, quickly up the ramp.
Oh, all the footsteps as well. Crystal looking to break the clone. At least Daryl now with a break. Just inside of Vents. It's able to take 2 down. The burst out from Heli S with the right clicks, but still Petman the trade. But PRX do find themselves huge numbers disadvantage.
What can Divide do here, though? A little bit unknown in Garage at the moment. You've got a grouping up of the Global members, but Patman, 5 HP, can try and keep them entertained at the site of A, but
if you're Global, surely you recognize that Petman either goes up mid or back into A tower.
Yeah. And this is why Papi's just making sure that he's spotting it out. He doesn't necessarily need to stick around for a duel, but with 5 HP, I mean...
Devi's got to make some noise for his brother out here, but all right, just going in out for the peaks. He does get that dink. Divine now snuck all the way through as well.
Need to see a sharp shot from him. Yudotan is watching, but Yudo falls.
And possibly... a little bit more as well. As he threads the needle onto Crystal!
That's so quick.
Poppy, though, looking to play spoiler. 1v2, takes down Petman, the first to fall. Divine now, just one more shot. He's running out of ammo and backed into the pillar. Now, potential opportunity for Poppy as he sends out the Nova Pulse. Divine. Oh, might have spotted out his foot just with a crosshair placement to top it off.
Man, where have those shots come from Divine? Headshots out with the Sheriff, absolutely clinical, quick to come out from him as well. We needed to see somebody step up in this series, right? We need to see some sort of consistency. And I mean, if Devi's going to be stepping up, I'm all for it. If Darion's stepping up on this raise as well, I'm all for it. I thought that this pistol round was looking pretty good from Global Esports yet again to be able to try and figure things out. But it's once more like the first one. You think Global get a lead in a pistol and PRX bring it back.
Oh, Komodo, I know, right? I mean, both teams feeling themselves backed against the ropes, and they're just trying to fight tooth and nail for this, but something now with the shots through the smokes.
I think maybe he just saw him over the top of the toxic screen.
Good chance for that to happen, but also now for Global to necessarily come back into refill space. The Outlaw picked up once again. Yudotan, though, not quite landing the shots. Has to run back to reload. Almost getting tagged out by Jing. The pink shell does flush him out into the open, where Divide collects. Just Crystal on the site now. He's got the stinger. He will find his first shot, but 7 rounds left in the mag and Forsaken to collect.
And look who's going hunting at the moment, Jing. He will be reeled back a little bit here with the rest of the squad, but he will hear the footsteps.
And hides into the smokes. Oh, Komodo, this could be dangerous for Jing as well, because the Stinger's on the other side. Kelly's.
They don't go together, but he still wins that.
Grafnet now, and they've heard Divide as well. Second kill found. This could still go over to Global Esports. You do have Forsaken perched up on top, though. With elevation, he might be able to throw them off, but it's not even needed. Patman just to hold down by screens.
There's 13 HP between the two of them, and somehow they managed to weather that one and not drop the second round yet again like the first half. I hate highlighting these components of this game of Valorant, but I think we need to. Okay, that shot's ridiculous there by something. Yudotan, someone who has been absolutely pivotal to a lot of successive rounds for Global Esports this stage, even, you know, regardless of them not winning maps, he's been such a solid rook for them. He's really getting cut down to size in this map so far.
Ooh, yeah, let's take a look, won't we? Down to 4 kills only, 11 deaths. It's been rough for him, especially in this first half. You would hope to see more now that he's deadlocked on the defense. He's beginning things with the Grafnet to hold, but PRX is nowhere to be found.
And just making sure that you're going to be covering where you need to. With the force up of Global in the last round, they're not going to be playing a pretty bonus here. They take the knee, potentially concede the double digits to PRX, who will lose the first shot. Say Yudotan's name, and he fires in.
Still a good little pickup nonetheless. Crystal now back in from ropes just to try to play around tower.
He's got his fabled weapon in the sting up.
Dark cover on the side, though. Forsaken, he's TP'd upwards. Crystal, how could you possibly be aware? He bursts just to check. And now has a little bit more information. Forsaken, then flush back into sight.
Got the Gravnet back online for Kelly's too, so can combo with Darion.
Which could be even more damage given where PRX are currently positioned. All of them, though, from Global. Down ramp. Patman's watching it. You begin with the haunt, and it's easily dealt with. Patman then to re-peek, not quite finding the shots. Crystal, the Grafnet, it does go through, but it doesn't quite collapse onto anyone either. Now for Jing and Divide just to spray through. Obviously into the choke point, PRX finding double digits.
Phantom does good things in that distance for Jing there when the opponents don't have all of the armors. Good work out from PRX when it may look a little bit awkward from the crossfires they're trying to establish. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you're sitting here out in the open looking for some shots as Patman. You've got a Seize, you've got a Prowler. Is anything going to come out? Nope. He's just going to try and stand and deliver, but it's Jing that does it a little bit better from the distance. And now with the 3 on the trot that PRX find in this attacking side, we will finally see what the answer is going to look like for can they weather the buy-up of Global, or can Global do something on this defensive side now?
Well, we'll have to see Kelly stand up to the challenge for now. Darren as well, as they both hold around middle.
Discord on பண்ணனே லேப்டாப்ல இருந்து வெடிக்கிற மாதிரி சவுண்ட் வருது.
Be too bad on the thing for Global, right? Remove a couple of these key components.
அதான் இவன் மைக் அது ராஜேஷ்
more tricky to
ஆனே ஒரு செகண்ட் என்னடா திடீர்னு
towards the side and how you're setting him up. But you gotta remember double duelist, right?
மைக்ல இருந்து எப்பவுமே அந்த சவுண்ட்
Definitely let him
அததான் எல்லாரும் நாங்க சொல்றோம்.
With some of the utility that has gone out by middle as well, you know, PRX possibly beginning to gather that this is the current defensive setup that GE is running. Just Poppy on this backside position around B. Easily dealt with. The paint shell's completely blown up in his face. You also have Annihilation now from Kelly's as an attempt, but unfortunately does not quite connect. You got Defy finding more shots down by middle, and it's just Yudotan left alone.
See what he can do in this 1 versus 5 to try and survive with the gun. Good for 1, but just on the tail end here, I want to give a good little golf clap towards PRX and their you know, tacked as a unit, right? They were very cohesive in how they're going together into that B site. They're just sending in the utility with the nightfall, going in, they're dodging the annihilation. You've got a TP backside as well. You've got great paint shells from Jing, which really, you know, catch Papi off guard, for example, there. Just really good layering of utility to come out from PRX and make that B site execute pretty flawless. Like this round, quote-unquote, is flawless when it was decided.
எப்பயுமே
Concur with that. Yudotan,
கேம்லலாம் கேக்குதா இல்ல கேம்லலாம் இல்ல டிஸ்கார்ட்ல மட்டும் தான கேக்குது
எப்பயுமே
and this will be my
இன்கேம்ல
attempt at
தெரியல
golf
நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணதுல
commentary.
டிஸ்கார்ட்ல தான் தெரியும்
லைவ்லி நான் கேட்டு பார்த்தா அதெல்லாம் எதுமே சவுண்ட் வரல அதுதான் கேக்குறேன்
I'm not really a
அது
golf
ரொம்ப
connoisseur
மைன்யூட்டான
myself.
சவுண்ட்
Neither am I, honestly. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'd say in this one,
ஒருவேளை அந்த மூச்சு விடுற சவுண்ட் தான்
PRX
அப்படி
hit the hole
கேக்குதுன்னு
in one,
நினைக்கிறேன்
and Global Esports have, you know, hit it into the water. I don't know the actual terminology, but they've like banked it in.
இந்த வயர்லாம் எரியுது முன்னாடி இது வெடிக்கும் தெரியுமா
Wasn't us? Wait, what's the green thing called? Grass.
Yeah, the green, isn't it? It's just called the green.
And there's like the
Yeah, something
Look
like
at us exposing our lack of golf knowledge.
Let's pick a sport we actually know, or rather, let's play some Valorant and do it on the Valorant that we know. Because what we know right now is that Global need a discussion.
Desperately.
They need to flip things the other side. As Patrick, who...
Oh, he's gonna take a Red Bull. Yeah, why not?
I mean, if you're getting some energy up somehow for this team, somebody needs to be, you know, bringing on the...
ஒரு டீம்ல எத்தனை பேர் இருப்பானுங்க
right?
பேக்கப்லாம்
To
இருப்பானுங்க
still be
ஆமா, ஆறு
okay
பேர்
mentally
மொத்தம்.
right now. I think Darion's certainly having a bit of an outstanding performance in the consistency mark for this map.
5
But the
members
rest of the
plus ஒரு
team, I
சப்ஜெக்ட்
mean,
வச்சுக்கலாம் இல்ல ரெண்டு
I'm
கூட
wondering
வச்சுக்கலாம்
what their economy's gonna look like for the next round.
yeah, Yudo trying to do what he could at the tail end of last
இதுல
round, of
சப்ஜெக்ட்
course,
வந்து ஒரு
right?
ஆள்
You've got
தான்
time
இன்னொரு
out
ஆள்
here
வந்து
to really
இவங்களோட
consider, I think more importantly, not
பார்ட்னர் வந்து
really the
இருப்பாங்க
economy, but
அதாவது
how are you just
ஸ்டீமர்
getting back
மட்டும்
into this map? How are you
ஸ்டீம்
getting a single
பண்ணுவாங்க
defensive
இவங்க
round on the board with
company
what you've got available, right? How are
Which
you
is-
getting Darion to do something with the
இல்ல
judge?
இந்த கைடேன் இருப்பால
Potentially,
ஒருத்தி
you know, setting up
Kenzo
trap
ஆளு.
with KS,
அவன்
Yudotan.
முடிக்க மாட்டான்
A lot of this utility
தெரியல அது
over
என்ன
towards the A
team
side of
மறந்துச்சு.
the map. You're looking out for any lurks up through mid with the one in the bottom of the ropes. You're
அவன்
looking out
விசிட்டிக்கு
top
ஆடின
of
மாதிரி
ramp
எனக்கு
as well.
தோணல விசிட்டி எல்லாம் ஆடவே இல்லை
Darren snuck in a garage, but yeah, the main hit into this.
அது இதுக்கு அந்த
Alpha
ஏஜென்ட்
site.
இருக்குல்ல
Jing in with the
ஏஜென்ட்ல மேப்
showstopper
காண்டி
does spot
கூப்பிடுவாங்க
Poppy out, so now a
அது
good
காடுனா
idea that most of them are
அவ்வளவுதான்.
backside and screens. Something though, off of the top heaven position, will get gunned down. Trades come through from Forsaken and Petman as they march on through from ramps. In towards back screen then is where Jing finds his target. Yudotan still trying to play spoiler on the site though.
Okay, nice.
Jing to make quick work of him, and just down to Darren, who was transitioning over from the V side.
கிட்டத்தட்ட
Remember,
ப்ரோ
to the
நாமே
judge,
போச்சு
definitely need to see
கடைசியில்
him upgrade a
எடுத்துட்டாங்க
weapon. There's not one available at the ramps. The closest is wrapping around into the open, the entry choke of the site. Though no one will spot him there.
நம்ம
Exactly.
அந்த கிளாசிக் வச்சு வந்த போட
Yeah, he's throwing the judge away.
வந்துருச்சுல்ல
It's good repositioning, by the way, for Jing, meanwhile.
Yes, that's going to be the main factor. Even if Petman falls around this
All of them.
position, which is apparently not likely, Petman still consistently finding his form with this PaperX core.
Yeah, right now he is, you know, kind of dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's in terms of filling the void where needed around the map, setting up utility for them, just making sure that he's there to be the supporting cast for this roster. And if you're looking for somebody like that to be consistent for PaperX, that's what you need.
40 assists last year.
Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But certainly, you know, we are seeing, you know, a new look towards PaperX, right, with Patman in towards it and figuring out a lot of the roles for these players.
இதுல ஆடுறவங்க எல்லாருமே பாதி
Double doors,
கொரியாக்காரன்
set by the
சைனாக்காரன்
team on
வருவாங்க
style. It's
நம்ம இது
looking alright. You know,
Pacific
something
இந்த rangeல
it's
தான்
been a bit
இருக்கும்.
awkward for him in terms of the actual kills. But you remember,
இந்த region வந்து
he's
Pacific
found rounds by
region.
himself with the operator, with
நம்ம இதுல
diving
தான்
in
இருக்கும்
towards the site.
actually.
Precisely. This time it's Devi in with the Outlaw, something up around the back.
called This Is the
the
Blue
sudden
Game.
push out from Global. Not a bad idea, but still
அவன்
getting
இங்க
punched by
இதை
now.
இவங்க
Poppy
யூஸ்
has
பண்ணி
to hold off
பார்க்குறாங்க
Garage
3-4
by
பேர் ஒன்னா
himself.
சேர்ந்து ஏறினா
The
என்ன
hunt,
நடக்கும்
the boom bot gives away his position. This could be it, Komodo.
Maybe. Someone check Jing PC. The smoke there, able to find the kill to give PaperX the advantage in towards this post plant where they've got, well, spike down and one player advantage, as I said.
The boombot gave him walls. That's what it was. Well, Crystal and Yudotan. Now, if Yudotan could possibly work his Neuro Theft to his advantage, maybe.
He's taking so long.
Backstabber.
You've got to expect
Backstabber.
the flank, right? Surely.
Yeah, the slow creep up. And now you kind of have an idea. Crystal, though, not too bad. Now the Nightfall. Possible chance. Hunt just to throw off the crosshair placement as well. Peeks out. But with
Nice.
the kills not found, round. Petman ends the match. The final scoreline bringing us to a 13-5 with PRX taking it away.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a flawless attacking side to come through from PRX as well. I didn't think I'd be saying that when you consider how usual defensive lean in this map can be, though. I mean, PRX certainly making the attacking side look good, showing a lot of vulnerabilities and weaknesses on the side of Global Esports. I think more individually than as a team. You know, there were a lot of moments there where Global were just losing individual duels, not able to get the trades as well, specifically in a deadlock Cypher composition where a lot of their utility was disrespected, right? We didn't really see many traps work out for any kills. We didn't really see any sonic sensors really work out for any kills either. So, unfortunately, for Global Esports, they will be dropping their map pick of Split here. And for PRX, well, they best the curse of dropping the first map in a series for us.
It feels as though they have done their homework. They were quite aware of the possible plays that Global were going to play against them. Meanwhile, for Global, a couple of nice clutches. Poppy having a 1v1, but at the same time, like you mentioned, a lot of these moments, especially down to the second half, you just wanted to see more from them.
Absolutely, and I mean, you've got to consider as well, this game here decides who gets that 4th seed going in towards the playoffs. For a team like PRX, they've never not been in the playoffs, and for Global, they've never been in the playoffs. So they have to try and turn things around on map number 2 of Lotus, which is the pick of PRX.
Coach Elevated himself said that, he feels that this is the best possible chance that Global could get. PRX are at, they're somewhat lowest, but PRX have also broken their curse, beating DFM last week. It's been so good so far. They've gotten a flawless attacking round now. What's going to happen on Lotus? We're going to have to toss it to our desk to tell us how.
I don't know how. We're just coaches of this fantasy league on Build Diff. You have to ask Coach Alex how they're going to do that on Lotus. Now, for Global Esports, had a interesting first half there on defense. They tend to do well on defense on Split, but PRX is looking, I would say this is the strongest I've seen them look in a while.
I mean, I feel like PRX knew this matchup. They knew what Global were going to be playing, and I feel like they countered it fairly well stylistically, as well as just having those individual pop-offs that PRX are known for. I feel like the individual level for this PRX team looked very high in this map 1, and it felt like they were consistently able to win those important fights.
I mean, GE hasn't changed up anything on this map in quite a while. It's been their pick and their go-tos from kickoff. They haven't showed any different styles on it just yet. Shout out to Darion. He had a pretty good game on the Raze, honestly. Like I was saying, put Utatine on the Raze, but he seemed very comfortable playing against some of the SGMY homies over on PRX. I'm sure players that he's very familiar with up to this point now. For PRX, I mean, they haven't played this map, like I said, since that T1 game in kickoff, and you knew that they were going to bring a different comp into this game, and they went back to what's comfortable for them, playing double duelists, just in a very different style. You had the Raze as well as the Yoru, and I think that combination of duelists plays very well into Cypher Deadlock. Not that they really had to play that much on attack, to be honest. Only a few rounds needed once they got the game across the line at 13-5, but you use the Yoru clone or use the Raze utility. These are some of the faster agents and the meta agents that are very, very good against Cypher Deadlock setups on defense.
It's a very Singaporean to play 2 Razes, or 2 Singaporean VCT.
Singapore Raze.
It is the Singapore Raze. We also have to give a little, nod to something on the operator.
We've seen over time, something did not start out this stage opping, and now he's kind of stylistically moved back towards that a little bit more, and we saw that play this game.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't actually end up having that good of a game, but he had a lot of op kills on defense, and you can see it here. He's actually doubled his op kills going from week 4 into week 5, and now we're at the start of week 6. He's the second highest in kills for operator in this competition. Famous is up here, but he's even just a little bit over Buzz, who we haven't seen play yet, but he is actually really getting the op out a lot, which you think about something before, he's stuck on the breach, he's holding a fault line out, now he's getting back on the duelist, he's getting active, they're even putting him on the comfort agent of Jet when he's not feeling as comfortable on the Yoru, and he's getting the op out a lot more, which I know a lot of people have been asking for. It is his, I mean, entertainment factor probably in their own personal selfish fans, but even PRX now starting to mix it into their play, and it's having a decent amount of success for them.
Yeah.
But now in
Discord
நானும் லீவ் பண்றேன் பையா.
பார்க்கும் குருவாடா.
இங்கேயுமே அப்படி கேட்குது இல்லை இல்லையா நாய்ஸ்லாம்? எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு டிஸ்கார்டில் தான் அப்படி இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். டிஸ்கார்டு பிரச்சனை ஏதோ இருக்கு.
My ultimate's ready.
My ult's ready.
டாடா டருட்டா
டரட்டு 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 டரட்டே.
சொல்றான் அன்பு.
ना ब्रो ना भाई
ஓவர் டிரைவ் பைக்கே வந்துருக்கு இப்போ.
Match found.
फ्रैक्चर.
You have good taste, my friend.
Swantinal. எப்படி ப்ரோ ஸ்வந்தினல்லா?
ஜெட் ஆடுங்க ப்ரோ இல்லாட்டி ப்ரோ வின்சிபிள் ப்ரோ.
ஸ்வந்தினல் ஸ்வந்தினல்.
இந்த பையன் சென்டர் சும்மா டிவிஸ்.
உள்ள போகுமா போகாதயா?
It is sad what happened here. Such a terrible accident. Ones that I had nothing to do with. Out of charges.
அஜேஷ் என்ன கம்பர் எடுத்து வச்சு உட்காந்துருக்க?
I'm back with Kambar bro.
பாய் இருக்கீங்களா பாய்?
கிளாசிக் யார்கிட்ட இருக்கு?
அவன்கிட்ட தான் இருக்கு.
பாவா பாத்தீங்களா பாவா?
லாக் ஆகுது.
Here.
சரி பை, அவ்வளோதான் என்னால் பண்ண முடிஞ்சுச்சு.
Spike planted.
ஒரு 55 லோ.
Brimmet not 26 கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
TNT.
உள்ள வந்தோடனே மேட்ச் போனா இப்படிதான் ஃப்ரேம் ரேட் பயங்கரமா டிராப் ஆகும்.
இப்போ என்ன பண்ணலாம் தெரு?
நான் கேக்குறேன் என்ன பண்ணணும்.
டேய் இதெல்லாம் ஒரு கிளாசிக்னு என்கிட்ட தூக்கி போடு.
யோ கிளிச் பாப்பி அந்தாயா?
லாக் ஆகுதியா? ஐயோ ஆல்டா பைட்டே இருக்கியா?
மகு.
Locating target.
B careful.
Hold.
All missiles away.
Spike planted.
பின்னாடி வந்துட்டாயா?
Sage 65.
Last player standing.
பட்
மக்காமிஷி பிரச்சனையே லெஃப்ட்.
அவ்வளோதான்.
Make peace with yourself before you pull the
funny
trigger.
guy.
No else can judge you.
என்ன ப்ரோ FPS 4க்கு போயிட்டு வருது.
ஏய் நீ அந்த இதெல்லாம் உனக்கு ஒரு வீடியோ அனுப்பிச்சுறேன், அதை பார்த்து இது பண்ணிக்க.
That's a good spot. Drone going up.
யோ
என்ன சிந்தர்ல அது ஓடந்துருச்சு. ப்ரோ ரைனா பி ரெடி பேக்.
மெயின்ல இருந்து வர்றான். சைட்ல ரைனா பாய்.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Continue. Lock in sight.
டோர்ஸ் ஓபன் இருக்கா?
One enemy remaining.
NT பாய் NT.
Reina, I must say how nice it is to work with you. It is so hard to find partners with your experience.
அவன் என்ன புடுங்கனேன்னு நீ இந்த டயலாக் பேசுற எனக்கு புரியல.
என்ன அது?
நான் கிட்ட வந்து
இவன்டா கம்பர்.
அப்படித்தான் ப்ரோ.
கம்பரோட வாய்ஸ் கேட்டுச்சா? நைஸ் ஒர்க்கிங் வித் யூ.
டேஜோட தானே.
ஏ ஹெட்டியா? ரெய்னாலோ.
வந்துருங்க.
வந்துட்டேனா?
Nice. Dropல மே dropல yoru in drop. I spamல ஒரு pick by.
Teleport's ready.
Here, yeah.
There they are.
Spike planted.
இருங்க.
One enemy remaining.
மேல நினைக்கிறேன். டேஜோ எடுத்துக்க. வா. நீ ஏடியா டிஃப்யூஸ் ஏடியா டேஜோ.
டிஃப்யூஸ் பண்ணியா?
எங்க எல்லாட்டி அல்ட் இருக்கு.
ஸ்கின் இருக்கான்னு பாரு.
என்ன வேணும் உனக்கு? வேண்டாம்ல இது வேணுமா?
உன்னோட இதுதான் இருந்துச்சு அதே நான்.
Reloading.
Those fools just wasted their advantage.
Cloud, don't buy, Cloud.
அல்டா?
யா.
தலைவன் வேற
அவ்வளவுதான்.
A gift.
Oh.
என்னயா?
Who's next?
ட்ரோன் ஏதாவது பண்றானா?
நான் இங்க இருப்பேனா அதுக்கு ஆப்போசிட் தான் வருவாங்க மதர் பக்கர்ஸ்.
ஏய் அல்ட் வரலடா என்னடா இது?
Spike planted.
அல்ட் டபுள் லோட் ஆகுதுடா பைக்.
Last player standing.
அடியா.
This gun. I'm enjoying this.
I
மிஸ் ஆயிருச்சு ப்ரோ.
மதர் பக்கர்ஸ்.
I can't use that.
ரைட் டாட்
ஒரு புல்லட் தான் இருக்கு.
அப்படியே முன்னாடி போங்க அப்படியே கண்ணு இருக்கு.
My bad.
If you are not doing well, keep trying. We must keep up appearances.
என்னம்மா பாவா கண்ணு?
மெயின்ல அந்த ஸ்லோவா
Does anyone have funds?
பி மெயின் ஆடு. நான் பி பேக் சைடு பாக்குறேன். நீங்க மூணு பேர் ஏ ஆடுங்க.
அத கமெண்ட்ல கூட வைக்கிறேன்.
That works.
ரிம் இருக்கா ப்ரோங்க? மை பேட் ப்ரோ. பிரிம் ஒளிஞ்சு உட்காந்துருக்கான் ப்ரோ. அவனை பார்த்துட்டேன் கில் வெறியில போயிட்டு. சாரி.
ஏ வராங்க ப்ரோ.
பிரிம் இருக்கான் ஒளிஞ்சு உட்காந்துருக்கான். அங்கே போயிட்டான் ப்ரோ. ஆப் எடுத்துக்க வேணா. சைட் ரெண்டுயா? 2 பேர் ரைனாவும் சேஜு சைட். ஒருத்தன் பிளான்டரு. போடு. டேய்.
I thought he died bro. 120.
main low.
120.
அதோட சரி.
அப்படியே உள்ள உட்கார்ந்து பண்ணலாம்.
half and peak. ஒரிஜினல்.
நைஸ்.
இங்கிருந்து நடந்து போயிலே அது ஒரிஜினல் மாதிரி தெரியல உனக்கு.
நான் செத்துட்டான்னு நினைச்சு சுடுறத நிறுத்திட்டேன் ப்ரோ.
சரியா சென்சிபிளா பண்றாரு.
Just let them try to catch me.
அது நடக்கிற ஸ்டைலை பார்த்தே அது ஒரிஜினல் கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டேன் பாவா. பாவா அகைன் ஆப் பண்ணவா? நான் வெயிட் பண்ணுவாங்க அதுதான்.
யாருங்களா நாங்க.
A gift.
ஏய் க்ளவுட் நின்னு வானத்தை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கான்.
பாய் அங்கதான் பாய், இங்க யாரும் வரல பாய்.
யாரா இவன் பைத்தியக்காரன்?
தேவையில்லாம கீழே விழுந்து கை காலை உடைச்சிட்டு வரேன்.
Last player
யோ
standing.
யோ 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 யோ.
3 பேருமே ரோப்ஸ்ரா டேய். மேல வர சான்ஸ் இருக்கு பாத்துக்க.
Spike planted.
Teleport's ready.
ஏய் ஆ டிபி பண்ணிருப்பாங்க.
டிபி பண்ணலாம் இருக்கட்டும் அப்படின்னு யோசிச்சேன்.
அவன் நம்ம பேசுறது கேட்கலையோ?
கேக்குதே.
யோ பேசுறது கேக்குதாயா?
நான் பேசுறது
கேக்குதா கேட்கலையா?
சாம்பர் ப்ரோ
பாய் புஷ் டு டாக்ல வச்சு போட்டு நேரம் பேசியிருக்கேன் பாய்.
ரொட்டேட் கொஞ்சம் ஃபாஸ்டா பண்ணுங்க ப்ரோ. அவரு
சென்டினல் அவ்வளவு ஃபாஸ்டா ரொட்டேட் பண்ணவா பாய்?
அவனுங்க டீமே இங்க தான் ரஷ் பண்ணிருந்தே. நீங்க அங்க
அவங்க ஒரே சைடு தான் ஆடுறாங்க.
இங்க அந்த கண்ணு இங்க ஜெட்
கண்ணு இருக்கே.
இங்க தான் பாய்.
Who's next? Here.
ஏன்டா?
Prepare for hellfire. On my track. No missiles away. I'm too far.
Last player standing.
நான் ஜூம் பண்ண முடியாது.
Spike planted.
ஒன்ட்ட நேடா உன்னைய தவிர எல்லாரும் செத்துட்டாங்க.
திரும்புறதெல்லாம் ஆங்கிள் மிஸ் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
காசு இல்லையே.
சரி நான் ஏ ஆடுறேன், நீங்க பி ஆடுங்க. பிம்போல ஏ ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிடலாம் ஈஸியா.
ஆப்பர் மெயின் பாத்துக்கிறியா?
நீங்க அங்க நிக்காதீங்க ப்ரோ.
ஏனா யூ வாட்ச் டிராப்.
மெயின்ல தான் அடிப்பாங்க இருக்கு.
இல்ல நான் முன்னாடி போறேன்.
ஹியர் ஏ மெயின் மெனி. ஆறா அல்ட் போடாம இருக்கான். க்ளவ் அல்ட் போடுவான், அவனுக்கு பீக் பண்ணி சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலான்னு பார்த்தா ஒண்ணும் பண்ண மாட்டான். இன்னொரு தெக்கில இருப்பான். மெயினா சைட்டு ப்ரோ.
க்ளவ் அல்ட் लेके घर जाएगा क्या?
Spike planted.
ஒரு ட்ரேட் பண்ண.
அட பாவி 50 ரா.
அத்தேச்சி
ஒரு புல்லட் தான்டா பட்டுச்சு. தேவையில்லாத வெட்டி வேலை.
ஸ்மோக்ல உட்கார்ந்துட்டு ஃபுல்லா ஸ்பாம் மட்டும் தான் பண்றாங்க. வேற எதுவும் தரல.
யோ பாட்டு கேளு பாட்டு.
Does anyone have funds?
யோ பாட்டு கேட்க சொன்னேயா? என்னயா?
Does anyone have funds? Merci.
Keep up.
உன்னை திட்டுறான் அவன். இப்பதான் எனக்கு அது தெரியுது.
अबे नूबड़े तेरा ऐसा घटिया खेल के किल नहीं किया. स्मोक थ्रू स्पैम खाली कर रहा. दूसरा क्या आता तेरे को?
யார் எங்கடா?
யோருங்கன்ட்ட
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
ஏவே ஆடுங்க ப்ரோ. ஏ ஆடுங்க. ஸ்லோ இது போடுங்க. இங்க கீழ போடுங்க.
இது உடைக்க முடியாது. இது மேலே ஏறி வந்தா தான் உடைக்க முடியும்.
ஏவா ப்ரோ ஏ போங்க ப்ரோ ஜெட் ப்ரோ
All missiles away. Here. On my mark.
Last player standing.
Like I never left.
Here.
एक साइड पे
Teleport's ready.
भाग जा इसे भाग के मर जा वो है साइड पे कहां जा
Last player standing.
now ஒரு ஷாட்
Last round in the half.
Use everything you have. Lose it anyway.
அடிச்சு
ம்
என்ன ஆயிட்டாங்களோ. இந்த கம்யூனிட்டி எப்படா 11 கில் அடிச்சான்?
ஆமா நான் கில் ஆனமே தெரியல எனக்கு
வெயிட்டர் லவுடேடா அவன். அவன் பீக்லாம் எடுக்க மாட்டறான்டா. நல்லா பீட் பண்றான்டா.
Locating target.
டி என்னையும் சப்ரஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்கடா. நீ சொல்லி டக்குன்னு அங்க உடைக்கப்படுதுன்னா அங்க ஆள் நிறைய இருக்குன்னு சொல்லியாடா. ஒருத்தவன் 2 பேர் தான் இருப்பான்னு வேடிக்கை பாக்குறேன்.
ப்ரோ நீங்க ஒரு ஊரு ஓடி போயிட்டீங்க நான் ட்ரோன் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி.
நான் ஓடியே போகல அங்கண்டு வேடிக்கை தான் பாக்குறேன்.
Player standing.
120
பின்னாடி
Spike planted.
You will not kill my ally.
என்டி ப்ரோ கண்டென்ட் ஆகறானே ப்ரோ.
நீங்க போறதுக்குள்ளே நீங்க போயிட்டீங்க ப்ரோ.
Switching sides.
என்னடா திட்டிக்கிட்டே இருக்கான் அவன்? யாரடா திட்டுறான் அவன்?
இவனத்தான்.
என்னதான் சொல்ற
என்ன சொல்றான் அவனுக்கு? என்ன வேணும்?
நான் ஒரு ரவுண்ட் கிளவ் ஆல்ட் போடலன்னு சொன்னேன்ல, அந்த ரவுண்ட் திட்டி போட்டான். ஏன்டா ஆல்ட் போடலன்ட்டு அதுல இருந்து புடிச்சிட்டு சட்டை போறாயே.
ஏய் நீ வந்து கேமை கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்றாங்க நடக்கறான் சட்டித்தலாம். ஏய் ஷெரீஃப் கேளியா? ஐயோ
Does anyone have fun?
ரங்கா நீ செத்தா உன் ஷெரீஃப் எனக்கு.
நீ பே கூட வாங்கிக்க அந்த நான் வேணும்னே உன்னை வெயிட் பண்றேன்.
Let's fly.
ஓ 10 திருடிட்டு போவான். வெளியே இருக்கியா?
சரி வாங்கிட்டு
காசு இருந்தா எடுத்துக்க பாவா.
பஸ்ஸை தான் எடுக்க போறேன்.
Locating target.
Enemy spotted B.
டி அடிச்சிட்டான்டா என்னைய.
Reloading.
பாய் உன்கிட்ட ஸ்பை.
வா ரொட்டேட் பண்ணு.
ரைட் கிளிக்ல சாவ மாட்டான்.
2 புல்லட் அவன்ட்ட வேஸ்ட் பண்ணி தொலைஞ்சிட்டேன் நானு.
Spike planted.
சேஃபா. ஏய் இது தெரியாது பாய் இந்த பிளான்ட்.
ஓபன் பிளான்ட் தானே பாய் இது?
இங்க இருந்து அங்க இருந்து டிஸ்ப் பண்ண முடியும் நீ உட்கார்ற இடத்துல.
இல்லையே.
பண்ணலாம் ப்ரோ.
இங்க இருந்து பார்க்க முடியாது மெயின்ல இருந்து. டோர்ல வரலாம்.
டிபி அடிச்சா தெரியும். ஷாட்
பிக் பண்ணான்.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
அவ்வளவுதான் அடிச்சிருச்சு.
நைஸ்.
சரி படுத்துட்டு ஓடி வந்துரு.
ஐயோ நல்ல வேலை.
It is so powerful, huh? You pick a gun and it tells me who you are.
குடு பாய். சரி
இந்த வாங்கிக்க.
டேய்.
Does anyone have fun?
அவரான செயல்ரா அது.
ஸ்பெக்டர் என்ன இது வச்சிருக்கே? ஓகே.
Does anyone have fun?
சுரானா
Okay, I need a start fresh.
ஏய் நீயே எடுத்துக்கடா காப்பர்.
A gift.
ஆனா
Spike drop.
ஏன்ட்ட கூட.
Ahead. have the spike.
நான் டிபி வச்சுட்டு போய் பிளான் பண்ணிட்டு ஓடி வந்துடுவேன் பாவா. நான் ஆர்ப் எடுக்கிறேன்.
Drone going out.
ஆர்பலா எனக்கு வேணாம். ஏய் எல்லா ரவுண்டும் என்னைய தான்டா வாங்கடா நான் வெளியே போறேன்டா.
டிபி கிட்ட எவனோ வந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு.
Reloading.
That's not ready.
One enemy remaining.
மேல மேல.
ஒரு கில்லு கூட கடைசியில் எடுக்கவில்லடா. என்ன இப்படி போட்டு சித்திரவதைப்படுத்தாதீங்கடா. 6 புல்லட் வாங்கிட்டு வந்து 6 புல்லட்டுமே வேஸ்ட் எப்போவையா.
ரைனா 100
உனக்கு பிரச்சனை
73 ப்ரோ.
பேண்டம் பேண்டம்.
Does anyone have fun?
இதா செத்தா மார்ஷல் தான் கீழே விழுகும். ஐயோ
மார்ஷல் இருக்குல்ல, மார்ஷல்ல கிளிச் பாப்போட இது எஃபெக்ட் தெரியுது, கொண்டு வந்துட்டேன்.
Drone going out. My ult is one suppressed.
யூஎஸ்க்கு பின்னாடியே நிக்கறான்.
Down A.
ஏய் ஒன்
பாய் எதுக்கு பாய் நிப்பாட்னே? அவன அப்படியே ஸ்பாம் பண்ணிரலாம்ல பாய்.
ஆபாயா
ஒன் எனிமி
அடிச்சிட்டானே, செத்துட்டானே, நிறுத்திட்டேன்யா.
சப்போர்ட் ஹிம். நைஸ்.
பக்கா பெயிட்டர்ரா இவன், சரியான பெயிட்டர்ரா. என்னையும் போடாம இடிச்சிட்டு
ரைனா தானே
செட்டி பிளாட் பின்னாடி வந்து
நான் அதுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் உள்ளே போக மாட்டாங்க போனது.
சோ அங்க இருக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்ல நாங்கயா.
ஓ பா இது வேண்டல் கேலியா.
சோ வாட் நான்
Have fun.
சோவா வாட்ஸ் தி பிளான் ரா. இல்லையே
சோவா ஜெட்டும் சோவா அதெல்லாம் காம்போ, ஓல்ட் காம்போ. அதுக்கு ஆப் வாங்கி ஆடுறேன்.
They are so dead. All missiles away.
என்ன மட்டும் அடிங்கடா.
One suppressed.
போன ரவுண்ட் என்னை அடிக்கும்போது உனக்கு இனுச்சுச்சா
49 பாவா.
ஏய் ஒன்ட்ட ஸ்பைக் இருக்குடா.
தேஜோ ஒன்ட்ட தான் ஸ்பைக்.
ஏய் கில் வெரி கோயிடா.
One enemy remaining.
120. ஐயோ
They think it is more honorable to receive death. They're willing to try.
ஓ ஆப் வாங்கி ஆடியா 9000 ஆச்சு.
That works.
स्पाइक दे दो तैयार. स्पाइक दे दो.
எடுத்து வந்து குடுங்க. ஏன் எடுக்க மாட்டியோ? என்னடா பண்றீங்க?
A gift. Go ahead. Stand.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
There.
நல்ல வேளை லேட்டா போட்டேன்.
Reloading.
நான் ஸ்பைக் வாங்கிட்டு போங்க.
Spike drop.
பேக் ஸ்டாப் பார்த்துட்டான் பாய். பேக் ஸ்டாப் வர ஒருத்தவன். பேக் ஸ்டாப் ரைனா.
Who's next?
bro டோர் சவுண்ட் கேட்டா சொல்லுங்க bro டோர் ஓபன் பண்ணு.
எனக்கு தெரியாது.
எனக்கே கேட்கலையா? அது ஸ்மோக்ல ஒண்ணும் கேட்காதியா?
கேக்கும் bro ஸ்மோக்ல. மேல
One enemy remaining.
மெயின். க்ரவ் ஐயோ யோ போய் ஆப் எடுத்துட்டு வாயா. என்னயா பண்ற?
Cannot take a kappa.
அதே ப்ரோ எடுத்தீங்க அது நல்லாவே இருக்காது.
அதனால தான் இவனுக்கு உனக்கு
நான் வாங்கிட்டேனே உங்ககிட்ட தான் இருக்காது.
கொடுத்துட்டேன்.
எனக்கு பிடிக்காத ஃபேண்டமே இல்ல.
சரி குடு இந்தா ஒண்ணும் பிரச்சனை
இல்ல இல்ல ஆறு.
That's a good spot.
Imagine calling someone a noob and being under them.
ஒன்னதான் சொல்றேன் டேஜோ.
Still you are a noob ன்னு சொல்றா. Still you are a noob ன்னு சொல்றா. அப்பதான் ட்ரிகர் ஆகும்.
Still you are a noob. நீங்க சொன்னதே
கடன்
Spike is down.
Spike down B.
Prepare for hellfire.
Last player standing.
தோழி முடிஞ்சு. என்ன பண்ற? சேவிங் ஆப் ஏன் போடவா? அடா பாவி எவ்வளவு பிரச்சனை போயிட்டு இருக்கு. மேல போய் இன்னொரு ஆர்படியா? டிராப் போய்.
Teleport's ready.
Ichi ni nunichi.
That works.
எவ்வளவு சேஃபா இருக்க?
seconds left.
நம்ம தான் பிளான் பண்ணணும். பிளான்டே பண்ணல. 25 நிமிஷமா குறி வச்சுட்டு அடிக்கவே இல்லை.
They found my trap.
10 seconds left.
ஆப் எடுத்துட்டான்.
चूतिया क्या?
Does anyone have funds?
Yo, நான் வாங்கி தர மாட்டேன்.
Does anyone have funds? Merci.
கொண்டே விடு. ஓ 9000 வச்சிருக்கேன்.
ஆப் பண்ண வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு ரைனா பார்த்தாடு.
Here.
அங்க போகாதீங்க bro. ஏன்னா
All missiles away.
ஆப் இங்க பண்றான் யோரு ஆப் பண்றான்.
One suppressed.
எனக்கு ஏன்டா ஸ்மோக்?
டேய் சைட்டுக்குள்ள இருக்கான்டா என்னடா பண்றீங்க?
அவன் மேல இருந்து அடிக்கிறான்.
ஏய் கீழ இருக்கான்டா இதுல ரோப்ஸ்ல இருக்கான்டா டேய். பட்டாக்குன்னு பீக் பண்ணி அடிச்சு ஒரு டீ
அண்ணா ஓபன் பண்ணு.
One enemy remaining.
அடிச்சது நல்லா இது.
இல்லையா அது ஃபேக் நினைச்சிட்டேன். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் உள்ள போச்சு ஒண்ணு பாத்தியா? யோரோ
எல்லா ரவுண்டும் ஃபேக்கா தான் சுத்திட்டு இருந்தீங்க. இந்த ரவுண்ட் சுட வேண்டியதானே.
ஸ்பெக்ட்ரம் கேளுங்க.
Does anyone have funds?
ஓ சிங்குலாரிட்டில ஆட மாட்டீங்க அப்ப.
இங்கேயே போலாம்.
That's a good spot. Focus now.
டேஜோ உள்ள வந்து சண்டை போட்டுக்கு இருக்கான். அவன்கிட்ட போய் இண்டுகிட்டு எல்லாம் செத்துக்கு இருக்கீங்க வரிசையா.
நான் எங்கடா நான் ரெய்னா கிட்ட தான் ஆடுறேன்.
My ult is ready.
பாவா
அடி ஷெரீஃப்ல அடிச்சான்டா உண்டா. கண்ணு எடுக்கறான்டா.
எங்க இருக்கான்?
அடிச்சான். மெயின்ல ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான், சைட்டுக்குள்ள ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான். ஃபார் ஷூர் சைட்டுக்குள்ள ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான்.
You will not kill my ally.
ஓபன் பண்ணனே.
Last player
ஸ்பீட் பண்ணுங்க bro.
உன் பின்னாடி இண்டு தான் அடிச்சுக்கிருக்கேன்.
அவன் 25 நிமிஷம் வசதிக்கிட்டு இருந்தான்.
சேஜ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 64 கொடுத்தேன். இவன் கொன்னுட்டான். இவனுக்கு 64 கொடுத்திருக்கேன். கிராசரை பார்த்தியா ப்ரோ பயங்கரமா இருக்கா என் கிராசர்லாம்
கிராசரை பார்க்கலையே ப்ரோ
பார்த்துருக்கணும்
நீ வரைஞ்ச வரைபடத்தை தான் ப்ரோ பார்த்தேன்
எனக்கு முன்னாடி நிக்கிறனால எது ஹெட்டு எது பாடினே ஒன்றும் புரியல காசு இல்லையா அண்ணன் இங்கே வா
அல்ட்டு
நானும் அல்ட்டில் ஆடலான் இருந்தேன்
இத்தனை பேர்ரா டேய் நீ என்னடா அது மறுபடியும்
போயிட்டாங்க
டேய் இவன் என்னடா நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்கான்
பிக் பண்ணாத
Spike down B.
ரைனா பிளைண்ட் வச்சிருக்கானே இல்லையா
அவன் பிளைண்ட் போட மாட்டான்டா செலவாயிரும்ல
எப்படா நான் எங்க நிக்கிறேன் வேடிக்கை பார்க்கறேன்னா அந்த ஆங்கிள் விட்டு நகர போகும்போது அடிக்கிறீங்க
Match point.
Outside of this game, immortality doesn't have as many day-to-day benefits as you think.
காப்பருக்கு கன்னு வாங்கி குடுறா இந்த ஷீல்ட் வாங்கிட்டு ரீஜன் ஷீல்ட் வாங்கிட்டு
கேளு காப்பர் வாங்கி கொடுத்தா என்ன பிரச்சனை ஒரு பிரச்சனையும் இல்ல
எந்த பயனும் இல்ல
நீங்க சைட் உள்ள வாங்க என்ட்ரி கொடுங்க ப்ரோ நான் உள்ள போறேன்
நான் எல்லா ரவுண்டும் உள்ள போய் தான்டா
ப்ரோ சென்டினல் எப்படி ப்ரோ என்ட்ரி தர முடியும்
எல்லாரும் வரணும் நீங்க வெளியே நின்னு கடைசி வரைக்கும்
Reloading.
டேய் ஒளிஞ்சிருக்கான்டா
Dropping smokes.
மேல இருக்கான்டா டிராப்ல
டேய் ஏன்டா
Spike down.
போங்கடா நீங்களும் இதுவும் கதவு தான் கந்துரும் அல்ட்டு போட சொல்ல அவனை
Like I never left.
என்ன
ரோப்ஸ் ஒருத்தன்டா
நீ மேலே பார்
இல்ல நான்
Last player standing.
அவன்
Planted.
அல்பட்ராஸ் ஆடிக்கிட்டு இருக்காப்ல
ஆறா
வீடியோ பாடி ஆல்ட் எஃபர் கொடுத்துட்டு போயிட்டாயா ஏன்னா ஆடுனக்கா இதுக்கு ஓ அவன் 23 கில் அடிச்சிருக்கானா ஒரு 18 கில் வெயிட் பண்ணி தான் அடிச்சிருக்கான்
चुप मादर चुप
இந்த பூரா புத்தான் எல்லாரும் சுத்து சாப்பிட கிடைச்சது நான் ஆடலாமா இல்ல அவ்வளவுதானா
போடு ப்ரோ டக்குன்னு முடிக்கிற மாதிரி போடு
இருங்க வரா ஒருத்தன் ஷின்சோ
அப்ப 3 பேர் நீங்க ஆடுங்க பாய் இல்ல 3 பேர் நீங்க ஆடுங்க ப்ரோ பாய் ப்ரோ பாய்